Hello there, DiSanto here, coming at you with another Quicken customization video. We're looking right now at Quicken Classic for Windows, and what I want to talk about today is the investing section, and some ways that you can customize it to help better understand your investments. And one of the things that I like about Quicken the most is that if you have investments at different brokerage houses, you can aggregate all those accounts into Quicken and then look at everything holistically and do a holistic asset allocation. You can do a holistic summary of performance and things like that. So I really like it for that reason. But if you're going to do that, you do have to spend some time setting it up and getting it to be nice. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those features today. But before I get into that, I want to let you know about my significantly updated personal finance course called Personal Finance Mastery. There's a link below. In this course, I cover everything you need to know about personal finance, including my 5-step system or framework about how I understand personal finance and how all these 5 different areas intersect. Personal bookkeeping with Quicken, of course, income growth and generation. I cover investing, both stock, real estate, alternatives, tax efficiency, and how you interweave that with the other components. And I also cover planning for your personal finances over time and how you get from here to wherever it is you want to go. So it's totally complete. Check it out. I'm excited about it. All right, back to the video. So if I go to put in a brokerage account, first thing it's going to ask me is, do I want the simple setup or the complete setup? The simple setup is like, we're not going to really track your ins and outs and buys and everything, buys, sells, short sells. We're not going to track all that. All we're going to do is go get your positions from your brokerage, assign the ticker value to each position, and give you a total value for your account, for your net worth. And that's fine if you don't want to go too far down the road with the investing side. But if you're going to want to use a lot of these tools I'm mentioning, you're going to need to set up your accounts in the complete investing way where it really tracks it on what I call like a transactional level. So, when you buy something, it's tracked as a buy. When you sell, tracked as sell. When you short sell and reinvested dividends. I mean, Quicken, there is no other personal finance software that can help you manage your investments like Quicken, no question about it. Now, over in the investing area, you're going to have a few different submenus, and this is where you can actually start to build a dashboard or build a setup where you can review the aggregation of all your different brokerage accounts. And even if you have multiple accounts at the same institution, you still have multiple accounts, and you can have all 2 or 3 or however many in Quicken and aggregate that data into one dashboard. Now, admittedly, if you have 3 accounts at, say, Fidelity, when you go on the Fidelity website, it will aggregate your 3 accounts, and you can kind of get a similar output there. In my case, I have multiple accounts at multiple institutions. I can go to each, individual brokerage place's website and see data for my accounts there, but I can't easily bring all that together. Some of the websites do allow you to add additional accounts on from other institutions, but it's really a lot of times only like total value and stuff like that. It doesn't bring over a lot of the history. So Quicken allows you to do that. And I'm going to go just like the most basic setup here. This is a basic, portfolio view with some data, and we got a bunch of positions in here. And in here, you can choose, you can do customized views, which you can change between. So you can have a few different kinds of views with different types of metrics that you add or remove from each view. Or you can put everything, all the basics you want in one view. And obviously you can see here this example, quote, shares, average cost per share, gain loss, all the things you would have at your brokerage account, but oftentimes even more. Now, you then can, if you have multiple accounts, you can go to customize here and you can add in additional accounts. You could also add in a watch list if you want, and now that will all be in one view here. Now, If you have multiple accounts, and I don't know if I have multiple accounts in here. Let's see if I have. I'm going to get rid of indexes and watch lists here. Yeah, well, anyway, my other sample accounts in here don't have positions in them. However, you can see here that you would have a market value for each account, total, and then a total market value. You can have a total gain loss. You can have a total cost basis over here. And you can see the performance in an aggregated or combined way. So that's one particular view that I like and I look at so I can see all accounts and kind of total performance. And then you can, you can sort by different things. You can group by security over all accounts. So if you had some accounts that had the same security in multiple accounts, you can aggregate in total by security. You can aggregate in total by security type, investing goal, a whole variety of things. You can do it as of today. You could do it as of different days. You then can export the data to Excel if you want to do other things. I mean, I often say this, but Quicken, particularly Quicken Classic, even Windows, it's professional level software for finance, no question about it. So that's something to take a look at and to consider. Portfolio X-ray is like some kind of service that Quicken has a deal with Morningstar, and it will show you various, I guess, opinions on your holdings and things like that. It's called this Portfolio X-ray. I don't use it, but you can do your X-ray on all accounts. You can do it individual accounts. You can do it on custom all securities or just one security, or I assume this would probably come into play with mutual funds and ETFs. Well, but that's another area. Okay, so this third area is called performance, and it's basically a dashboard with some widgets here. And you can see we have portfolio value versus cost basis. This is a nice one. It can show you your, growth over time. That's one of my faves. Growth of $10,000, average annual returns, and also then it has same for the major indices. So this is a good general dashboard. Now you can apply all accounts, a few accounts. You can do all securities, a few securities. You can change the time frame, and then you can go into each of these widgets and go to a full screen version, and then you can actually do more customization there. So, these widgets here respond to your basic settings up here, but then if you want to go further into dialing in what's in this report, you can do that there. Also over here, you have some other tools like asset allocation guide, buy sell preview, capital gains estimator, security detail view. I mean, it's really like endless, the amount of tools. Now, I don't use probably half the tools that Quicken offers, and I've been using Quicken for a long time, because you really do have to become a hobbyist, so to speak, and dial these things in. But the tools are there if you want to use them. You don't have to. Again, you can just have the simple setup on your investing accounts, and it'll just track your total account value and put that into your net worth, and you call it a day. I will admit with that, the way, that's sort of a newish feature. And there's a couple of issues I feel with using that view and not the complete view, particularly when it comes to transferring money in and out of your accounts. The way Quicken kind of tracks that is, it does its best, but it's not, I don't know, leaves a little to be desired. But anyway, that is that view. Then you have allocation. So asset allocation is really a huge part of investing and investment planning and risk management. So you want to see your asset allocation not just from account to account. You want to do your asset allocation on a global basis of all your investing accounts, all your real estate, all your crypto, all your alternatives, syndications, every dollar you have invested. And I even consider, if you own a home, the equity, the amount of money you put down in your home and the equity you have in your home, that is an investment. I consider your home a rental property that has the greatest tenant in the world, you. The reason I say that is because you could choose not to buy and take your investable dollars and put it in something else. But when you buy a home, you choose to become the landlord of you, and that investment is meaningful and will have a certain outcome, and it will be that relative to other investments. The only thing that's unique about owning a house, and I consider this a reason you would do it, is because it also creates housing security for you, both physically in terms of not being able to kicked out of your house, but also housing price management, meaning like, your rent won't go up forever. Your taxes and insurance do, but your overall housing cost won't go up to anywhere to the degree that you will have that happen if you're a renter. So that's a big debate. But anyway, I'm on the side of buying houses usually. So you want to have all that in your asset allocation and see, like, really, how much do I have in real estate when I consider even my home and its equity? How much do I have in stocks? How much do I have in crypto? How much do I have in other alternatives? And then even within the stock bucket, you want to have your asset allocation of blue chips, growth, risky. In crypto, it's basically like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then all the other, stuff. So you can build a good asset allocation previewer in here that you can keep up with. So I use that and I like it. Then finally, there's an additional dashboard. This is the basic dashboard, and it looks just like the simple investment account setup dashboard, where it shows you your positions, a basic portfolio summary, value over time, and things like that. I will say, though, that all the data that goes into building, say, an asset allocation graph is based on the information that is held by the security in security view. So, let's look at this here. Every security, whether that be a stock, an ETF, crypto, I manually enter the security because Quicken's not able to update crypto prices, though it can update Bitcoin and Ethereum now. They have details about what they are, and you go to the details here, and the type is a stock, and you want the asset class would be, whatever it is it is in reality, but you can even customize it. But ADT, I don't know if that's a large cap, but I'm going to say, let's just say it is. When this information is set, that's what feeds into your asset allocation buckets. Most of the time with traditional stocks, most of the detail is going to come through. Like in this case, Amerin, I don't even know what that company is. It's a stock. It assigned it as small cap. And so that's good. ETFs, though, have their own asset allocation, but even Quicken will get information from the ETF based on the ETF's reporting of the asset allocation and merge all that data together, at least into like large cap, small cap, so on. It won't parse out the individual security detail of the holdings of the ETF. It'll show the ETF as the security, but it will pass through the asset classification to your graphs. But I will admit that, this is a pretty complicated system. If you want to know that it's being done right, you probably would take the time to go in and just double check your security details, But that's time consuming if you have tons of holdings. If you only had 30 or 40 holdings, you could take an hour and do it, and then your asset allocations and your graphs would be really good. Okay, so that's enough on that. Hopefully, if you're into the investing thing and you want to use Quicken to dial in your reporting and performance and review and overview, that will help you get that done. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.